Alright guys, I am back with my review of WWE's WrestleMania 29. And I tried to stay optimistic in my predictions video with the John Cena Rock match. I really thought they may try to do something a little bit different, and instead they went with the predictable finish of Cena just beats Rock straight up, beats him clean, and becomes the new champion. And really that was my main problem with this show, was it felt like everything was just so predictable and they really didn't have any surprises. We had some great matches. In fact, I actually think I enjoyed this year's WrestleMania more than last year's. So I'm not going to say the show was terrible or anything, but everything being so predictable really hurt. And no surprises. I thought they could have done something to end the show in a big way, and they just didn't really have anything. So the show starts off. Well, I guess I should talk about the set. The set had the Brooklyn Bridge and the Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty and everything, and I actually thought the set looked pretty cool. It was a great way to kind of involve the city, make it feel like the city was part of the show and not just the location. So I thought they did a great job with the set. And with the pre-show, we see Miz talking to Snooki. Is she still relevant? Honestly, I don't watch MTV, so I have no idea, but this just seemed like kind of one of those celebrities who no one really cares about anymore, just trying to be on the show, and WWE thinks it's a great thing for ratings or something, or for buys in this case. But Barrett comes in and says he's a loser or something. I can't remember. I wasn't really paying a lot of attention. And Miz says that he's going to take Barrett's title. Mark Henry says Ryback's going in the Hall of Pain. And we get Barrett versus Miz for the Intercontinental title. Not really a bad match here. It was a pre-show match. I mean, this is what you would see on Monday Night Raw. Miz makes Barrett tap to the figure four for the win, so we get a new champion. Orton, Sheamus, and Show versus The Shield. Big Show rips off Ambrose's vest and just slaps the crap out of his chest. And Sheamus does the same thing to Rollins and just clubs him to death. Sheamus is about to get triple power bombed, and Big Show runs in and spears all of the Shield members at once. And Big Show is reaching for a tag, and Orton tags himself in. And Rollins goes for a springboard but gets hit with the RKO. Reigns runs in and spears Orton, and Ambrose covers him for the win. So the Shield goes over here, and at the end of the match, Big Show's pissed off that Orton tagged himself in, and he just knocks out Sheamus and Orton. It was a pretty good match, though. I like this one. So Mark Henry versus Ryback. I know this match needed to be short, and I guess I can understand what they did with the time here, because they had to have a match. Even though last year with Sheamus and Daniel Bryan they didn't have a match, but they had to have a match between these two, and I thought they did the best they could, really. I mean, Mark Henry just dominates Ryback. Eventually Ryback clotheslines Mark Henry. He gets him up for Shell Shocked, which was very impressive, and Mark Henry grabs the top rope and just falls on Ryback and crushes him to death, and then he covers him and gets the win. So the officials are checking on Ryback, and Mark Henry gets back in the ring, and Ryback gets up and hits a spine buster on him and then shell shocks him. It was fine for what it was. I'm sure they're going to do it again at Extreme Rules. Dolph and Big E with AJ versus Team Hell No for the tag titles. To start the match, AJ kisses Dolph, and they're trying to do a repeat of last year's WrestleMania, so Daniel Bryan kicks him in the head and covers him. And I did think for a second this was going to be it. They were going to do another 18 seconds thing, but Dolph kicks out. And Dolph tries to use the briefcase, but Kane ducks and chokeslams him. Daniel Bryan hits the headbutt for the win. Not much to this one. I mean, it wasn't a bad match, but for Big E's first match, that was really the only thing special, was that it was Big E's first match. Everything about this match felt like Monday Night Raw. The same stuff we see every single week. So I wasn't too impressed by it at all, but it was okay. Huge Yes chant afterwards. Fandango versus Chris Jericho. There was a lot of pressure on Fandango for this match here. But Jericho pretty much dominates Fandango the entire time. And there was this guy in the front row, I remember, wearing a white hat. And for some reason, I noticed it during this match. And he looked just like Nick Gage from CZW. But Jericho dominates Fandango. Fandango goes for the leg drop on Jericho, and Jericho kicks out. So I wasn't too crazy about this because it really felt like this is Fandango's first match, and you're already going to have people kick out of his finisher. Just felt really soon for this. But he goes for a second leg drop. Jericho moves out of the way, gets him in the walls, but Fandango turns it into a small package, gets the win. Finish looked a little botched here, but they recovered well. Diddy's performance, he sang some old songs. It wasn't that bad. I'm never too high on musical guests at the wrestling shows, but it could have been worse. Last year's was definitely worse. And I did like the past Mania matches video they played. Zeb Coulter says, New York used to be the beacon of prosperity, but now it's not even worth the beans we paid for it. We get Swagger versus Del Rio for the world title. This was a pretty good match here. By the way, now that I'm thinking about this, before I forget, there was no Tons of Funk match on this show. I don't know why, I don't know what happened, but the Rhodes Scholars Bella Twins match never happened. Never even mentioned it. But pretty good match from Swagger and Del Rio here. Del Rio makes Swagger tap to the armbar, beats him clean in the ring. I'm not really surprised by this. I thought it was really predictable, but at the same time, it was a good match. I don't know. That's how I felt about a lot of this show. Good matches, just very predictable finishes, and nothing to really get you excited. I mean, Undertaker and everything, it was just kind of like, okay, next. At least that's how I felt. So we get CM Punk versus Undertaker. Living Color plays Punk to the ring. And Taker goes for old school, or in this case, really old school. And Punk counters, and then Punk hits old school on Undertaker, which I thought was a nice touch. Punk goes for the GTS, but gets choke slammed. And Taker tries to put Punk through the announce table with a last ride. Punk counters, kicks him in the head, hits the elbow drop off the top onto Taker, and the table doesn't break. Taker gets Punk in the Hell's Gate, but he counters and puts him in the Anaconda Vice, which was really awesome because he's got him in the Anaconda Vice, and then Taker just sits up and stares directly at Punk. I thought that was really awesome. Punk hits the GTS, Taker bounces off the ropes, hits a tombstone on Punk, Punk kicks out. Ref takes a bump, Taker goes for the last ride again, but Heyman gives Punk the urn, and Punk hits Taker with it, covers him, but he kicks out. And Punk goes for another GTS, but Taker reverses it into a tombstone. They go back and forth, and then Taker hits the tombstone for the win. So he's 21-0. I thought it was a really good match. These guys did a great job out here. I wouldn't say it was as good as his Taker's matches with Triple H, or definitely not as good as the matches with Shawn Michaels, but it was still a decent match here. And for Taker, being his age, with all the injuries and everything he's having to deal with, I thought they did a hell of a job. So then we get Triple H versus Brock Lesnar, no holds barred, my favorite match of the night. And I don't know, maybe I just really enjoy watching Triple H get the crap kicked out of him, which he did in this match. But this was my favorite match. I thought it was awesome. Very entertaining. Shawn Michaels comes out first. Glad to see he dressed up for the occasion. And Brock comes out looking like a beast. This guy was so jacked up. I mean, his lats were just insane. So Brock looked great here. Triple H comes out and he does his entrance through the giant head thing, and he gets this foam on his stomach. Looked really weird, and it shows Brock's face kind of just... He looked a little confused, and I like to think he was wondering what the hell this stuff was on Triple H. But Brock gets clotheslined off the barricade and almost breaks his own damn neck within the first couple minutes of the match. He suplexes Triple H through the announce table. He starts acting batshit crazy, which was awesome. He F5 Shawn Michaels. Triple H hits the pedigree on Brock, but he kicks out. Triple H goes for the sledgehammer. I don't know why people cheer for this and get excited for the sledgehammer. It always looks like shit. I mean, you're going to grab it and then hold the end and then hit the guy with it. It looks terrible. It's always looked terrible. Who swings a sledgehammer like this? Just swing the motherfucker. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. So why even use something like that? It actually looks like Triple H is trying to protect Brock by not just killing him with this thing. So he hits him, or he gets the sledgehammer. Brock stops him with the F5. Triple H kicks out. Brock hits him with a chair, throws him into the steps. He throws the bottom part of the steps into the ring, and Triple H starts going after Brock's arm. He tries to make him tap at the Kimura lock, and Heyman gets in the ring with a chair. Shawn Michaels hits Sweet Chin Music on Heyman. I think we all saw that coming. And Brock powers out of the submission, drops Triple H on the steps. Triple H hits him with the sledgehammer and hits the pedigree on the steps for the win. So that was it, but I really thought it was a fun match. It was a lot of fun, and I thought it was pretty exciting. There were some moments where Brock was about to tap, and I thought it was it. I thought it was over, and then he gets out of it. He powers out of it multiple times. You knew the steps were going to be a big part of the finish, so I wasn't too surprised by that. But at the same time, I wasn't sure what the finish was going to be, because I said my predictions, Brock, they may try to surprise us because everybody thinks Triple H is going to go over here. So I was hoping they would do something a bit surprising, have Brock beat Triple H, and I didn't know what was going to happen in this match. The show a video for the Hall of Fame. They bring out all the Hall of Fame class of 2013. You got Booker T, Mick Foley, Trish Stratus, and everybody out there. I'll go ahead and address the rumors. I am not the father of Trish Stratus's baby. And was that Donald Trump or a robot? A Donald Trump robot. I mean, he had no... he was just... Oh my God. Ridiculous. Very Madison Rain. So, the main event is Cena versus Rock for the WWE title. And I'll just go ahead and tell you this. Cena kicks out of 3 rock bottoms and a people's elbow. And Rock kicks out of 2 AAs and a rock bottom. Talk about overkill. There were so many finishes in this match. Or finishers in this match. It was just ridiculous. Cena acts like he's going for the people's elbow, but he's really just trying to trick the Rock, and then he goes for the AA, but Rock counters, hits the rock bottom, and Cena hits the AA for the win. That was pretty much it. It was better than their match last year, but my God, that many finishers in one match? I hope I never see that again. And at the end of the match, Rock is thanking the fans and everything, and Cena has the title, and I thought for a second, Cena is going to lay him out with the title? A big way to end the show, a surprise, something shocking. Nope, they hug. Rock tries to put Cena over. They walk up the ramp, and he holds his hand, and he's like, hey, here's your champion. And that was it. That was WrestleMania 29, so I was really hoping for some type of surprise, a big way to end the show, something shocking. Nothing. Nothing at all. It was just kind of, here's your WrestleMania 29. Enjoy it. We brought Brock Lesnar and Undertaker and The Rock back for you. Hope that's enough. That's what it felt like to me. And the fans really were booing Cena hard. And I get this vibe from Jerry Lawler. Mostly Jerry Lawler, but the other guys too. JBL and Cole. When fans boo Cena, it's like they enjoy it. They enjoy how Cena just doesn't give a shit. They cannot grasp the concept that the reason people boo him is we're tired of seeing him. They think we're all just fucking assholes. That's what WWE thinks. How can you hate Cena? It makes no sense to them. So Lawler's, it seems like he's always really happy when people boo Cena. and it just makes him cheer for him even harder. And I don't know, it's starting to really annoy me, because it's not that a lot of us fans are just assholes and hate John Cena. A lot of us respect Cena. He's a hard worker. He's done a lot of great things for WWE. The Make-A-Wish stuff is very impressive. But at the same time, we're sick of seeing him. And everything feels so predictable and the same old crap over and over again. And Cena is a big part of that, because it's always the same with him. He lost one big match last year to The Rock clean, and he had to get his win back. That was the purpose of all of this, was for him to get his win back. And probably the same thing with Triple H and Brock Lesnar. Triple H had to get that win back. So, as far as WrestleMania 29 goes, I enjoyed the show. I thought it was better than last year's. It did have some good matches. I just wish they had put more thought into the build for a lot of this. Really built up these matches with better storylines, something. Because they had a lot of potential for these matches. And the matches delivered. It was the booking that sucked. So anyways, that's my review of WrestleMania 29. I hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this year's WrestleMania in the comments, and thanks for watching. Bye. It's a great thing for ratings or something, or for buys in this case. But Barrett comes in and says he's a loser or something. I can't remember. I wasn't really paying a lot of attention. And Miz says that he's going to take Barrett's title. Mark Henry says Ryback's going in the Hall of Pain. And we get Barrett versus Miz for the Intercontinental title. Not really a bad match here. It was a pre-show match. I mean, this is what you would see on Monday Night Raw. Miz makes Barrett tap to the figure 4 for the win, so we get a new champion. Alright guys, I am back with my review of WWE's WrestleMania 29. And I tried to stay optimistic in my predictions video with the John Cena Rock match. I really thought they may try to do something a little bit different, and instead they went with the predictable finish of Cena just beats Rock straight up, beats him clean, and becomes the new champion. And really that was my main problem with this show, was it felt like everything was just so predictable, and they really didn't have any surprises. We had some great matches. In fact, I actually think I enjoyed this year's WrestleMania more than last year's. So I'm not going to say the show was terrible or anything, but everything being so predictable really hurt. And no surprises. I thought they could have done something to end the show in a big way, and they just didn't really have anything. So the show starts off. Well, I guess I should talk about the set. The set had the Brooklyn Orton, Sheamus, and Show versus The Shield. Big Show rips off Ambrose's vest and just slaps the crap out of his chest. And Sheamus does the same thing to Rollins and just clubs him to death. Sheamus is about to get triple power bombed, and Big Show runs in and spears all of the Shield members at once. And Big Show is reaching for a tag, and Orton tags himself in. And Rollins goes for a springboard but gets hit with the RKO. Reigns runs in and spears Orton, and Ambrose covers him for the win. So the bridge and the Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty and everything. And I actually thought the set looked pretty cool. It was a great way to kind of involve the city, make it feel like the city was part of the show and not just the location. So I thought they did a great job with the set. And with the pre-show, we see Miz talking to Snooki. Is she still relevant? Honestly, I don't watch MTV, so I have no idea, but this just seemed like kind of one of those celebrities who no one really cares about anymore, just trying to be on the show, and WWE thinks